With Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is Thursday at 1 o'clock. Ooh, let me fix that. My goodness. Camera mount is being a little bit persnickety, because why not? There we go. Okay. There it is. Now it's going to behave like a camera mount. And there's the dulcet tones of my guard dogs telling me that my husband is returning into the house. All right, now I'm going to do a quick refresh off to the left just to be sure that I am actually transmitillating here. I think I am, but you never know, right? Okay, let's double check. And it's looking maybe good. We'll see. Oh, there we go. I see Marva. Hi, Amy. Appreciate you coming. All right, let me skip the ad that it told me I had to skip. What? That's weird. Okay. Hey, Mario and Debbie and Carol, I appreciate you coming. Okay, so let me give you the contents, the table of contents for today. First, we're going to make a card because that's what I promised, and it's super easy, so it ought to go pretty quickly. And then I'm going to stop the video, do the same at the same time, go to the bathroom, get something hot, something cold, whatever works for you. And then I'm going to go live again a second time, and I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Well, not a sneak peek. I'm going to just flat show you everything that I got in my pre-order for the January to September, or not January to September, no, the January to April 2026 mini and the January 2026 online exclusives. Okay, so it'll be two separate videos, broken in half by an intermission. There will not be a little bell that rings. So just kind of keep watch. I will go live. And when I get done, we'll set a time on our watches, and then you will know what time you need to be back. Okay, so here is our card for today. Very, very simple. It starts with one of the really pretty Christmas greetings cards and envelopes, and you get one set in garden green and gold and one set in crumb cake. The crumb cakes are not little like this. I have used this as DSP for this card. So they all have a coordinating envelope with their pretty plaid on them. And then I've used the ornamental Christmas set to give a simple sentiment and pretty little tree image. And then on the inside, now this was very scary for me because I actually stamped right on the card base. And for me, that is just terribly scary. Hey, everybody. I appreciate you guys coming. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rosie. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This will all be on my blog tomorrow, so you don't even need to take notes, but I can already feel my throat tickling, so let me grab a quick drink. I can tell it's going to be one of those days, and at some point in this, in either of one or the other of these videos, I fully anticipate the guard dogs going off again because I think the UPS man will be showing up with my catalog. So that will be good. I will apologize in advance for any disruptions. Okay, so to begin with, what I did is I cut a 1 1/4 inch piece off of the long side of one of the crumb cake card bases, and then I trimmed it down so that I could mat it on cherry cobbler. And so let's do that. I'm just going to do that with a little bit of liquid glue. Ornamental Christmas is one of my favorites. When it first came out, I was like, yeah, between that and the modern Christmas DSP, it just seemed so, it just was too modern. I mean, I guess that's why they named it that way, but it turns out to have been quite a beautiful set, and I love it. So we're just going to take that, and you know what I'm going to do, just because I'm scared, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside of the card base first. That way, if I screw up, I can just go straight to a second one and I won't already have everything adhered to the front. Look at that. Thinking ahead like a boss. So we're going to use the really pretty, I like this. There's actually two trees in Ornamental Christmas, and this is my favorite one. This one's pretty, but I really like this one. So we're going to stamp it a couple of times in garden green, and by a couple, I mean 3. We're going to stamp it this way. And I have kind of discovered that when I'm trying to get something straight, I just like to do it horizontally. Oh, there he is now. The catalogs are here, and the dogs are screaming their heads off. All right, so we're going to do twice on this side. Try to make them not look like they're blowing in the wind. Do you know why? I mean, it would be okay because the answers, my friend, the answers are blowing in the wind. Uh-huh. Yeah. I didn't even sing that one. All right, let's see. Hopefully that's kind of straight. Okay, there we go. There. Oh, I got a big old halo. Let me see if I can get it off. If not, then this will become, see, that's why I did this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this and use that as DSP on another card. And fortunately, knowing myself well, I had them all sitting right here. All right, let me pull another one out. We'll see if I can do that without a halo. Do you guys know what I did? Yep, I rocked the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. I'm not even going to holler at the dogs. I have learned that there's really no point. This morning, as I was feeding the pony, I glanced out in the back pasture, and I mean way back, and there were two dots. One white and gray and little, and one black and white and bigger. And it turned out that my two diggy dogs had decided that they smelled something in the pasture that they needed to go investigate way down in the pasture. Now, a little backstory to that is at least Addie doesn't know better so much as Finn, but Finn knows he is not supposed to be in the pasture. Ever since the great kicking incident of 2017, he is supposed to stay out of the pasture, which he well knows. But he decided there was something down there he needed to sniff worse than he needed to worry about incurring my wrath. And I'll tell you a little something. They weren't coming back. They just gave me every no answer they could, without actually being able to physically shout no. Okay, this one right here is a little tilty. If you have a forest, you know that there are some tilty ones. So that is just organic and natural. It's all organic. Okay, so we're just going to deal with it. Now I'm going to stamp this little star in Darling Duckling. Darling Duckling is a nice little substitute for gold. We're just going to put him on top, and I'm going to make him a little crookedy because I like a little more. I think it's really kind of cute, whimsical. Oh, sorry, I had a little random association right there. We went to, there's a new, we have a Trader Joe's now in Peachtree City, and so we're kind of special like that now. And when we went there to just see it, they had these trees that they called the grump trees, and they were these little short pines, and they were bowed over at the top with an ornament hanging on them like the Grinch ones. I thought they were pretty cute. Okay, so that's our inside. That's all we're going to do on the inside. So let's go ahead and adhere our matted piece of the crumb cake. I know. I love Trader Joe's. I was with my husband, whose only concern about going to grocery stores is how much everything costs. So he was blind to the amazing things that they have at Trader Joe's. They do have a lot of really cool things. It's probably not where normal people, where I would go to just grocery shop, because, it's not the cheapest place and they don't have all the basic kinds of things that I like. But for fun stuff like really cool pre-made salads and things like that, they've got the thing. Okay, so that's the start. Let's just be sure I put it. Okay, I did. Now, I have a piece of basic white, and on that piece of basic white, I am first going to stamp Merry Christmas from the Ornamental Christmas. Yes, yes, that look, Marva, you know what that look means. That is the dog equivalent of, you know. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to stamp this in Cherry Cobbler, and we're going to try to get it as straight as we can and kind of put it towards the side, like right there. Not rocking. Okay, like that. And we'll close this. Cherry Cobbler is one of those scary ones. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment so that it can dry while we're waiting. But I'm going to need a different piece of, nope, let's see if we can make that work right there, even though I have a little bit of ink on it. I'm going to stamp this, wishing you peace and joy. Now, you don't often see two sentiments on the front of a card, but it made me happy to do it here. So let's see, I'm going to do a little pre-stamp because I think if I recall, this one needed a little bit. Okay, so I need to put this side up just a little bit. I know that there are many of you out there who are going to miss red rubber stamps, but I am not going to miss trying to line up sentiments in red rubber. Nope, see, that's not going to work either. All right, one more try. One more try. And then if I don't get it right this time, I'm going to cheat and pull out my Stampin'-N-Jig. There we go. That'll work. Now, let that set, because cherry cobbler is one of those ones that'll smear really easy, and it takes quite a long time. Not quite a long time, but more than the 2 nanoseconds that most colors take to dry. Okay, so over the top of this guy, I'm going to stamp my pretty tree again in garden green. Hey, Bonnie, I appreciate you coming. Oh, I'll bet they do. They do have beautiful flowers there, and yet they're right by the front door, so when you walk in, you can smell them. It's beautiful. Rosie, we used to not have one either. It used to be probably not 8 hours, but it was enough. You know, for us here in Atlanta, especially those of us who live on the south side of Atlanta, going up to Atlanta or to the north side is a significant emotional event. All right, now I'm going to stamp this, and I really do kind of want him to be straight, so everybody hold your breath. Don't rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. There we go. And then, oh, it is crooked. Oh, well. Oh, well. It's a handmade card. Yes, there is no video next Thursday. I will be eating pumpkin pie shortbread. Thank you, Miss Rosie. And all the other things that go along with Christmas. Or no, I just tried to make 35 days go into 4, didn't I? With Thanksgiving. Here's that darling duckling star. Okay, now I decided it would be fun to use the bullet end of my Stampin' Right marker. Stampin' Right markers are on sale right now because they're on the last chance. They're going to be going away. So if you don't have yours, I really, really, really want you to get you some before they're gone. After that, you'll be doing this with the bullet end of a Stampin' Blend, which is also doable. But Stampin' Right markers are so much easier. So I'm just doing a little dot and a dash and a dot. That's a dash and a dot. See, don't try to say what you're making. That's a dot, dash, dot, dash. Okay. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I'm being a smart aleck, and I better be quiet or I'm going to end up borking it. And I'm just going around the edges. And this again is kind of an organic thing. So if it isn't perfect, don't beat yourself up about it. See, that's how I tell myself that it doesn't have to be perfect. I just say it's artsy, like the leaning tree. The leaning tree of Deathridge. That's what we had there. Okay, here we go. On the third side, things are looking good. Systems are nominal. Did you guys see that Blue Origins thing go off the other day and land smack dab in the middle of their barge in the middle of the ocean? Everybody was all excited. I kind of did want to tell them that Mr. Musk had already done that once, but they were all happy. I didn't want to harsh their mellow, so I didn't. Also, they didn't care what I thought, but it was pretty darn cool, I'm not going to lie, because it was smack dab in the middle. Okay. All right, so there's our little stitches. Our little stitches. Yay. Hey, Amanda, I appreciate you coming. All right, now let's go ahead and adhere this to a little bit of liquid glue. Wait, no. With a little bit of liquid glue to a cherry cobbler mat. And then we will adhere it to the card front with a little more liquid glue. Now these are 5x7, no, 6¼ by 4¼ cards with their coordinating envelopes. So they're a little big, but this card should not take any extra postage, really. It's pretty light because there's just not that many layers on it. All right, so we're going to just adhere this right here like so. And then I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to make a bow, a biggie bow, with my very favoritist, the white and gold baker's twine. I love this stuff. I wish that it would stay around forever. I don't know that it will, but I wish it would because I really, really love it. I really, really love it. Okay. Ooh, there we go. So we got us a nice little bow there. See, sometimes I get lucky. You know what you could? You absolutely could cut this, just cut it straight down to 5.5, and then you'd be set. But remember, if you're gonna, I'm not sure exactly why you would, unless you just don't care about using your envelopes. But you certainly could, and you could even still put it in the large envelope, but then I don't know why you would cut it down. So yes, the answer is yes, you could. You'll just have a mismatched envelope hanging out, or something like that. But sure, you could absolutely do that. And you could even make this card just like this, just cut it down and squish everything together a little bit. All right. So I'm going to put this right here with a little bit of liquid glue. You could use a scrunched up glue dot if you like, but I'm going to use the liquid glue. Maybe. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Yeah. Yeah, Amanda. It does. They have their own already decorated envelopes, although I am going to decorate the front of this one because that's just how I roll. All right, so now I believe I was able to use a single layer of dimensionals. These are the only dimensionals on this whole card. Can you even believe that? I mean, seriously? Get down there and stay there. Now you're making me into a liar. Dang it, liquid glue. Okay, give up. Use a glue dot. Did you hear that sigh? That was me sighing at my card, like, what are you doing? Why aren't you behaving? And guess what it did? It said the same thing the dog said to me when I called him up from the pasture this morning. Yeah, we don't care. We're not interested in your problems, Mom. We're not interested in your problems, Mom. We are on the trail of something important down here, and we don't have time for your momness. And I said, yeah, okay. All right. So now I'm going to cut this. For me, sometimes this is a lot easier. It works out if you get it down close. You can make this into about a 3/8 inch wide strip. And that will be about right. Now, y'all, we have Black Friday coming next week, starting on the 25th and running for about a week. And that's going to be kind of fun. We're going to have the trimmer and blades will be 40% off. Stop me if I'm lying, Amy. And then 25% off on adhesives and 15% on something else. I'm not sure what. I can't remember now. But it's going to be something. It's going to be good. But I thought of that when I used that trimmer right there. All right, too. Hey, Shirley, appreciate you coming. Okay. So I just trimmed an angle in both sides, and I'm going to just double check where I can put some dimensionals. I can still go another one out here and another one there, and that ought to work. Like so. Boom, and boom. And then we'll try to make this straight. And I thought for a long time about extra embellishments, and then I thought, I just don't think it needs it. But if you wanted to, you could put a couple of the cherry cobbler faceted snowflakes. And to be honest, the only reason I didn't is because I feel like I have done that on like every single card that I've done for the last week and a half. And I thought they're going to think that is the only embellishment I have, but it would be perfect on here in the cherry cobblers. Okay, so there you go. I like it just like that without an embellishment, but you can add some extras if you'd like. So let me go ahead right quick and make up my envelope. And I'm going to see if I can learn my lesson. Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate that. Welcome, Victoria. I appreciate you coming. All right. So let's see. If I am correct, it was leaning that way. So I'll just try to correct a little bit towards me. Not that I care that it's leaning, but I mean, why not act like I can be trained? Right? We'll see how that worked out. Okay. So all I did is I kind of went to where I was straight, and then I just tilted the top down towards me a little bit. Oh, and you know what? Now look, this is called design on the fly. Instead of putting my third one over here, I'm going to put the third one right here because I made a halo. Now I'm not going to rock. Don't rock, don't rock, don't rock. Okay, there you go. Covered that right up. So that's going to be just fine. And we'll add our little stars in Darling Duckling. Like so. And there's our envelope. And because it already has a decorated flap, we're done. Now, these are really pretty quick and easy. So if you are still looking for Christmas cards to make, this might be a really good one. So you're going to get, when you buy the pack, you will get 10 cards and 10 envelopes, 5 in each color. So you could make at least 5 if you just use the garden green, but you could also reverse the colors and make 7 or 8 if you use the crumb cake as your card base and then your garden green here. Or you could even use maybe a piece of timeless plaid, although I don't think it's going to work just as well. But if you had a different kind of a DSP, you could put that there and make all 10 cards with this exact design and knock them out pretty quick. Okay, now here's the dealio. It is 13:22 on my watch. I am going to clean up this mess. I have everything organized, but I want to get a clean slate so that we can start afresh. What do you guys think about coming back at 1:30? That would be 13:30 military time. That's Eastern time, so that's going to be in like 8 minutes. If that works for everybody, give me a thumbs up right quick, and then I will close off and I will be back for the unboxing, a reveal of the new products from the January to September, or to, I'm determined to say that, January to April 2026 mini catalog and the January 26 online exclusives. Okay, I have one thumbs up. I've got 2 thumbs up. So that's it. I'm going to go out now and I will be back at 13:30, 1:30 Eastern time. See you in a few. Ta.